Hi, this is Gordon Bond at the Bond Arms shooting lane here in our shop. And what I want to do is go over some of the safety things that you need to do before you shoot your Bond Arms. And I'm going to show you the proper way to load and to fire the gun and unload the gun. And just go through some of the little training things for you there. First off, whenever you're shooting any firearm, you need to be wearing safety glasses. And these are very important for many different reasons. Either bounce back, gunpowder, shooting something and it's bouncing back at you, whatever it may be. It's just always good to have safety glasses on when you're shooting. And also you want to have proper hearing protection because our guns are very loud. And one thing at the shooting range, and we hear it a lot, people will go to a shooting range and other people are shooting their semi-automatics and it's going pop, pop, pop. And then they pull out our gun and shoot the 410 or the 45 and it goes boom! So it's very loud, so you want to make sure you're wearing proper hearing protection with any of our guns or any handguns that you shoot. Now, one thing with handguns, always treat a handgun as it's a loaded handgun. Even if you know it's unloaded, and ours is very easy to check and to tell. Many guns aren't. A lot of the semi-automatics, it's very hard to tell unless you actually rack the slide or with a revolver, open it and turn the cylinder to make sure. And ours is very easy to clean, very easy to check. And so always check. If you're handed a gun, always make sure that you check it first to make sure it's unloaded before you do anything with it. Every gun is a loaded handgun until, you just want to be careful with any gun that you handle. So some of the things that we train when we're teaching new shooters and experienced shooters how to shoot our particular gun, because it is a little unique, especially in the loading features and handling features. And we'll go through this and then we're going to shoot it here in just a minute. The way that I normally train, and I'm going to point away from the camera guy here, basically when I'm at the range and the target's down this way or you're out shooting or whatever you're going to be doing is I open it up like this and then I just flip it like that, and that always keeps the barrel going this way, because if you do it this way it sweeps the whole area. So a lot of people are very uncomfortable with that and should be. So just a very simple, and it just takes a few times of practice to get that down. And the cool thing about our gun, it's very easy to load. You just drop it, you're holding the gun frame where it's pointing up, and the barrels are pointing down, and the shells just drop in. So very easy to work with that. Now, when you're going to close the gun, and I'm going to just take these out for the demonstration. Now, when you're closing the gun, normally what I do is I'll sweep my left hand up underneath the sight, the front sight, and then as I'm going forward, I'm tilting the frame, and that way I'm always keeping the barrel downrange. I close it up, and then I'm ready to go. So just very easy to, just a couple times of practice, and you can become very proficient with that. Now, when you're holding a gun, always make sure that you don't have your finger on the trigger. Even though ours is a single action gun, with our gun, pulling the trigger doesn't do anything until you actually cock the hammer back. And then that's when you can actually fire the gun. But for safety reasons, and if you're handling other guns, you always keep your finger to the side, up on the trigger guard, and never keep your finger on the trigger until you're actually ready to fire the gun. And so anyway, just a good tip there. So once again, we'll go through that. I'll do it a little faster there. You load the shells, you swing it like this, and you're ready to go. Now, some of the different ways that people cock the gun, if you're used to shooting like I am, and a lot of people are, once you get familiar with the gun, it's very easy to cock it with one thumb. And some people try to do it with the soft pad of the thumb, and that does make it extremely hard, even for me, who has done this tens of thousands of times, to cock the gun. And if you're struggling, it's probably because you're using the pad. If you use the joint of your thumb, it's really easy to cock. And so it's all a matter of leverage. And so if you're having trouble with it, it may be that you're just positioning your thumb wrong on it. But if you raise it up and you catch it right up underneath that first joint. Pretty easy. So try both methods and see which one works for you. Some people that don't have the hand strength, there's a couple of different options that you can do on this. A lot of people hold a gun with two-hand. I usually hold it one-handed. And if you're a two-hand holder, you have your right hand in position to fire the gun, but you can use your left thumb as the cocking mechanism for that in that position. And a lot of ladies, what they'll do is they'll use the pad of their thumb, and makes it very easy to cock the gun that way. So it just depends on which way works the best for you. Now, one of the methods is if you ever have an injury and you can't do it with this thumb, and you're doing this one-handed, one of the quick options, more tactical option, is just pushing down like that, and it's cocked and ready to go. And so you don't have to do anything with your thumb. It's just a very quick one-handed operation for doing that. Once you become proficient with the gun, it's a lot of fun to shoot. But there are some oddities about this gun because of its layout. And what I'll do is I'll just go over those real quick just to give you an idea. Since there are two barrels, the sights, since they're fixed sights, can only be lined up with one of the barrels. The way this gun is designed is the sights are pretty much dead on with the bottom barrel. And so the groove in the rear sight, if you put the tip of the front sight in the groove on the target that you're shooting at, when it's in the bottom barrel position, you can be pretty accurate with that. Now, the top barrel is going to shoot a little bit high. And so most people know that when they're shooting, they'll lower the front sight just a little bit and aim a little bit lower on their target because it will raise up a little bit. Now, a lot of people ask, will it shoot both barrels at the same time? No, that would be considered a machine gun. And so, which is sort of funny, to have a machine gun derringer, but each barrel fires separately. And the way that that's decided, if you want to get a little closer here, there's a hammerhead right there in the hammer, and it just dropped. You see the big gap. So when there's a big gap right here, the hammerhead's in the lower position. That's going to make the bottom barrel fire first. It's not top barrel always fires first or bottom barrel always fires first. It's just whichever is next when you cock it back. So you'll see that when I release it and I cock it back again, it'll stay up. So now it's going to hit the top barrel. So one more time, so you'll see it. And now it'll drop, and you'll see the big gap. So that's going to be bottom barrel. And then next time you'll see it stay up. And so that way you can visibly see which one you're going to fire next. Because a lot of the cowboy action shooters, for accuracy, they want to shoot from the bottom barrel because you have less lift. And so you have more accuracy on that second shot because you have less lift. And so they'll position it to where when they holster the gun, and they know that the next time that they cock it, it's going to be in that bottom position, you just cock and release until you have it to where you know that next time you pull it is going to be that bottom barrel. And then you can be ready to go. But a lot of people maybe want to have a 45 Colt in the bottom barrel and 410 in the top. And you want to know which one's going to fire, when you want to do that. So that gives you a good way to do that. So anyway, now I normally do the one-handed hold, which I find very comfortable. A lot of people do. And I can cock and fire the gun pretty quick just with one hand. Other people prefer the two-hand hold. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. And so we'll go through and give a demonstration now. So we're going to put our hearing protection on. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to shoot some 45 Colt. And actually, we'll shoot some of the 22 mag first. And get fairly close when we're filming so you can see the ball of fire coming out, because it's pretty cool. And then we'll shoot the 45 Colt, and then we'll shoot some of the 410, which these have the triple-aught buck in them. And each one of those, there's 4 of them in these federal rounds, and each one of those is bigger than a 357 mag, so we'll have a chance to shoot those too. And I'm going to show you the proper loading and holding, and we'll take it from there. All right, so hearing protection on, safety glasses on, and that's everybody in the room, and we're ready to go. Now we're going to shoot the 22 mag, and so you saw how I opened the gun. Everything everything's pointing down range. I just drop the shells in, close it up, still going down range, and then once we're done, I'll flip the gun over, and I cock it. I'll line the top side into the groove where I'm wanting to shoot, which is going to be mid-body here. And hopefully cut that ball of fire coming out of there. These are hollow points, so they're very nice personal protection rounds. Hardly any recoil at all. And so now we're going to shoot again. And then I pushed it up, slid it out, and that's it. So let's go take a look and see how we did on those real quick. So first two shots, there's the 22 mag. So let's go to the bigger shots now. Now I'm going to use the Snake Slayer 4 with the 4 1/4 inch barrel. And so now we're going to do the 45 Colts, which is basically the round that won the West. These are just regular lead ball, and you can get these in personal protection, jacketed hollow point, higher pressure rounds that do very well. Now, we do not recommend Plus P or Corbon or 454 Casol or any of those really high pressure loads out of this gun. But any of the personal protection rounds like from Hornady, and some of those are very nice rounds out of this. And so anyway, these are Winchester Cowboy loads, very, very nice loads. And so here again, just drop them in. I slide my finger up underneath that front sight, close her up, flip her around. Here again, we're going to shoot for mid-body here for an easy shot. And let's go see how we did. So not bad, and that's approximately 7 yards, 21 feet. So now we're going to do the 410 shells with a 4 triplock buck. And unloading. Now these, a lot of times, will fall right out. And so I didn't have to do anything with those. The 22s, a lot of times you have to pull those out. But a lot of these shells will just drop out. And so one thing about these is when you shoot, and if you're in a real hurry for a quick reload, you can flip the barrel. I catch it with my thumb. I drop them out, flip it over, reload. And so you can do that pretty fast with some good practice. So now we're going to shoot the 410 triple lock buck. Just drop them in. Same gun. Slide my finger up underneath. Swing into it. Close her up. And I'm going to do these shots fairly fast. So just to show you that you can shoot the 410 pretty fast. And the recoil's not bad at all. And I am doing it one-handed. So let's go. Okay, there's 4 pellets right there. And here's the other 4 pellets. So very nice self-defense load. And very effective. And here again, that's all the shots were on target. 7 yards, 21 feet.